Hey team, Coach Jess here. I'm a fitness and nutrition coach based in Los Angeles. Usually sunny Los Angeles, but not today. Today we're having kind of a rainy day. I'm just going to turn off my little diffuser just so you guys don't hear that. So, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook or any kind of social media, then you know that this week was kind of a downer week for me. And I actually recorded an earlier version of this kind of motivational um, practice or motivational kind of workshop. And after looking at it, it was like, well, how can I even put this out in the world because it wasn't motivating. It was kind of a bummer, to be honest. So I'm in a better headspace now, and actually doing this workshop has kind of put me into a better headspace. So that and some essential oils and just moving a little bit and all that stuff. So I'm going to walk you through this today, knowing that this helped me a little bit this week. So hopefully it'll help you if you've kind of lost sight of your goals. As of today, literally, it's the last day in January. And as we all know, right, January starts out really strong. We have all these like amazing goals, all these things that we're working towards. And then somewhere about halfway through January, things kind of just start to peter out. Maybe you're not there yet. And if not, then this workshop will kind of keep reigniting those things. But if you've kind of hit that wall where you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to the gym, or I'm not eating the things I want to be eating, or I'm not taking the steps in my business that I need to, then this can kind of help re-energize you too. So that being said, let's get into it. So I want you to grab a piece of paper, right? And you're going to be grabbing multiple pieces of paper in life, right? Because at the end of this, I want you to kind of consider getting a goal journal. I have mine that I write in every morning, and we'll talk about that. But for right now, before the goal journal, just get a piece of paper, just a little blank piece of paper and a pen. You can hit pause on the video and go get that now. Okay, so assuming that you went and got that piece of paper and pen, and you're going to need to do this workshop. So seriously, if you didn't go and get one, just go now. And if you're driving, you can listen to this and maybe pick up a pen and pencil or pen and paper later. But anyway, okay, so you're going to get your blank piece of paper, and at the top of your paper, you're going to write your goal, okay? So whatever that goal was for the year, you're going to write that at the top. So there's your goal. You can hit pause on the video if you need a couple more minutes. But hopefully you had a goal, right? I mean, unless you're like, everything's good in my life, I don't need a goal, right? Says no one ever. And if you are, then like you don't need this video, so I'll see you later. So write your goal at the top, okay? Now I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes. Think of that goal, and I want you to think about how you feel about that goal right now, okay? So maybe this is a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being like, awesome, I'm killing it, I'm knocking it out of the park, 1 being like, what was my goal? I don't remember what it was, and I haven't done anything to get there, okay? So just close your eyes. I want you to think about maybe that 1 to 10 rating, how you feel about it. Are you feeling kind of crummy? Are you feeling excited? Whatever those feelings are, you're thinking about that, and you're going to open your eyes now, and you're going to write down how you're feeling about that. So just right under your goal, you're writing down, how am I feeling? All the emotions that come up, all the words, all the things. So it says, how am I feeling? You don't have to write how you're feeling, but you're just going to write all the emotions and stuff there. So pause the video if you need a couple minutes for that. And really think about this, right? Like there's probably some pretty strong stuff there. So pause the video. Okay, so assuming that you wrote down all the things that you're feeling, emotions, 1 to 10 scale, whatever you needed to there, I want you to think of the steps you've taken or maybe haven't taken. Maybe that's the thing, that you haven't really done much to move towards that. So right now you're going to close your eyes, and I want you to think of the steps you've taken that have not worked. The ones that just maybe it's no steps. Maybe it's you tried something, like you tried maybe a keto diet, or you tried Whole30, or you tried a new exercise plan, and it isn't jiving, okay? It isn't fitting with you. So closing your eyes, thinking about what hasn't worked. Okay, open your eyes, and now you're going to write down what hasn't worked. Okay, so we're going to be moving into the positive part soon, but I want you just to get really clear about the things that just aren't working for you, so that you can put them behind you and you can move forward. So pause the video now and write down all the things that haven't worked. Okay, so assuming that you've written down all the things that haven't worked, I want you to look at that and I want you to say, thank you so much. I'm so proud of you for trying those things, but now I know that that hasn't worked and I'm going to put that behind me. Okay, so pausing the video here if you need to, just taking a moment to thank those things and to recognize that they didn't work, and that's okay. You tried them, which is the biggest thing ever, right? We can't know what success is until we try the things that aren't successful. Okay, so thank you and goodbye. Okay, now I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think of all the things that have worked. And if there's nothing that hasn't worked, that's okay. That's why you're doing this. We're going to think about the things that can work potentially. So maybe the next steps, and those might eventually be things that like you put in the didn't work pile, but at least you tried them and at least you've thought of another way to do it. So close your eyes. Think about the things that have worked, and think about the things that could potentially work. Now, sometimes this isn't going to be obvious to us. In fact, I had a realization last night when I was going to bed. I was like, oh my gosh, like that's something I haven't thought of. And had I not had these other failures, I wouldn't necessarily have found those things. So pause the video here if you need some more time. But I want you to think of the things that have worked and the things that could potentially work. So you can pause the video now. You're going to write down what has worked and the things that you maybe necessarily haven't thought of. And maybe they're not going to come to you right now. Maybe you need to kind of dwell in that for a little bit. But if they are here, write them down, okay? Pause the video, write them down. Okay, so assuming that you are back, okay? I want you to look at the things that have worked, the things that you're kind of leaning into, and you're going to pause the video again, and I want you to write down all of the emotions that come with that. So especially if this is a new thing that you're like, oh, I've never thought of that before. Maybe you haven't thought of it because there's a level of fear there. Like, oh, I could never do that because that would require so much. Maybe that would require me like learning something new or reading a new book, or oh my goodness, trying yoga for the first time and I can't even sit for 5 seconds to breathe, okay? So pause the video now, write down all of the emotions that come with those things. Pause it. Okay, so the reason I keep having you tap into the emotions is because we're always guided by our emotions. We're always guided by those gut feelings. And there's actually a second brain that lives in our stomach, okay? It's like all the little nerve endings that connect through the central nervous system, and they live in our stomach. So it's very, very real when you have that gut feeling of, oh my goodness, like I can't do that, okay? Trust your instinct. But at the same time, you need to be able to move past that and realize that sometimes our bodies are always going to try and lock us into what feels comfortable, right? Because otherwise it's scary and you could fail and there's so many things that could go wrong. I mean, a lot of things could go wrong. You could spend a lot of money doing something and realize it was completely wrong. You could sign up for a 2-year membership at a rock climbing gym and then, oh my goodness, break your hand or do something that just it could all fail, right? Every day we wake up and we step out, it's taking another chance. And that honestly is so scary. So if you are taking those chances, then you're already a step ahead, maybe literally, okay? So all of those emotions, everything that goes into those, okay? So taking a look at the list of things that what's worked, things that you're going to try, I want you to think right now of what happens 3 months from now. So 3 months. Right now, it's the end of January. You could be watching this video at any time. So I want you to take 3 months and basically find out what those 3 months are. So, okay, so April is going to be our 3 month right now if you're watching this like as it's posted. Okay, so April, I want you to write April down, or whatever that 3-month date is. Okay, I want you to close your eyes again and think about all of the things that you want to feel in April in regards to your goal. Okay, so 3 months is a long time. You can accomplish a lot of things. You can accomplish some really amazing weight loss goals. You can accomplish some really amazing eating right, moving better goals. You can accomplish some really amazing business goals. Whatever those goals are, you're closing your eyes and you're thinking about how you want to feel. When you write your goal down in April, how do you want to feel about that? Excited, accomplished, successful. What do you want to feel? Okay, so opening your eyes now, you're going to pause the video again, you're going to write down all the things that you want to feel 3 months from now. Okay, so we're back. So you wrote down all of the things that you want to feel 3 months from now. So now, how do we get to that, right? Like sometimes it's just a matter of like, well, I know what my goal is, but I have no idea how to get there. Well, that's where those, Marla's going to weigh in on this. That's when those steps that have worked are going to play into this. So taking a look back at the steps that have worked, taking a look back at the things that you maybe potentially are going to try now. You're going to write out all the things. You're going to just number 1 through number 3. So maybe earlier you came up with a bunch of steps. Maybe a bunch of steps have worked. Maybe a bunch of things you want to try. But right now you're going to pick 1 through 3. Okay? So this is where the goal journal comes in. I want you to get a goal journal. And it doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, literally, like this has lines and a date. It doesn't have to be even that. It could just be blank pieces of paper. It could just be spare pieces of paper. Okay? I like a book because, right, it's a book and it's all together. But you can make your own book. You guys know. You just put a staple in a bunch of papers, okay? Every day from here until 3 months from now, from here until eternity, I want you to take your goal journal. Every morning you're going to write down that goal just at the top, whatever it is, okay? That's your first line. I want you to do this every day. And then you're going to write down the steps that you've written down to get there, okay? So 1, 2, 3, those are the steps. Now, maybe at this point things are like, I have no idea how I'm going to make any of that happen. The goal is, or the thought being that if you write down the potential steps, even if they're just potential steps, that the universe is going to align, that you're going to have these moments, these breakthroughs that are going to get you to that goal because you're taking these steps. And these steps might change, and they will change, and they're going to evolve, and they're going to get better, and you're going to take bigger steps. And hopefully you'll be crossing some of those steps off. But the idea being that every morning you're checking in with your goal, every morning you're checking in with the potential ways to get to that goal, okay? A goal that isn't written down is just a wish. I think that's kind of the new hot button mantra that's coming out right now, right? There's so many things, but I think it's so true. Like, unless you're checking in with your goal every single day, you're going to forget what that goal is. And if you just write that goal down without writing down any way to get there, then it's just a hope, right? And hope is beautiful, but you got to like take some actions towards it. So that's kind of what we're doing today. That was your motivational thing. I hope that was helpful. I hope that helps you get realigned with your goals. Get that goal journal. Seriously, guys, it's like so, I mean, go to the dollar store. They've probably got like dollar books. Go to Target. The dollar bin at Target. Hello. Duh. Especially because everyone's January goals are out of the way, so all those like January books are going to be there. And who cares if it says January on the front, right? Or 2018. Just like, whatever. This is your spot for you, okay? Or you can go really fancy and go to like freaking, I don't know, fancy paper company and get like a really fancy book. Whatever it is, like just put your thought into it, put your goal in it every day, and put those steps to getting there. So, and also at the same time too, checking in with those feelings, right? Because we're all pulled by those feelings. And sometimes it takes us a little moment to get over those feelings. So if you're like, oh, I don't want to go to the workout today because like I'm nervous about it. Like sometimes it's saying, hey, you feeling like I'm going to move past this because I know it's going to get me to my goal because I wrote down my goal, and the steps that I have to do to get to that goal include going to the gym, even if it's scary. Okay. I hope that was helpful. If you want more one-on-one coaching, I am here. I am Coach Jess. Coach Jess Rose, or www.coachjessrose.com is where you can find me. If you're watching this YouTube video, you can find me here. I'm also on Instagram at Coach Jess Rose. I offer one-on-one coaching so we can kind of sit down and figure out what you need to get to where you need to be. Nutrition coaching, so meal plans, figuring out your relationship with food, all those things, all the things that kind of play into it. So I hope this was helpful, and yeah, I will see you guys soon.